Imagine building your dream beach resort and then having it stolen just because you were black. This isn't just a story about land. It's about hope, courage, and how racism tried to erase a family's legacy for nearly a century. In 1912, Willa and Charles Bruce, a hard-working black couple, bought land on the shores of Manhattan Beach, California. Back then, most beaches were strictly whites only. If you were black, you were either pushed to segregated areas or not allowed near the water at all. But the Bruces had a vision bigger than the prejudice around them. They dreamed of creating a place where African Americans could enjoy the ocean freely. Bruce's Beach. It wasn't just a business, it was freedom. They opened a beach resort with a lodge, cafe, and even a dance hall. This was the first time they could truly relax and feel safe by the ocean. Soon, Bruce's Beach became a safe haven. On weekends, the shoreline came alive with music, food, and community gatherings. It wasn't just a vacation spot, it was a cultural hub. Generations of African American families created memories there, finally enjoying the same simple pleasure that white families took for granted. Manhattan Beach was a small, wealthy, and overwhelmingly white community, and they didn't want black joy anywhere near them. At first, the harassment was subtle. White residents put up no trespassing signs and tried to block black visitors from reaching the beach. They pressured the city to enforce fake zoning restrictions. The goal was clear: intimidate the Bruces until they gave up.
For years, Willa, Charles, and their guests were targets of relentless racist attacks and harassment from white neighbors and the KKK.
That's why we moved away, but we didn't move away willingly. And that land was stolen from us.
Then came the final blow. In the 1920s, Manhattan Beach officials decided to use a legal weapon known as eminent domain. On paper, eminent domain allows cities to take private property for public use, like building schools or parks. Officials claimed they needed the Bruces' land to create a public park. But
in 1929, the city took the Bruces' property by eminent domain, citing the urgent need for a public park. But for decades, it sat empty. Today, LA County's lifeguard training headquarters sits on the Bruces' property.
I want people to take away from this that there is justice and that you have to pursue it. And your family can find peace for some of the wrongs that were committed against them in the past.
For nearly 100 years, the injustice of Bruce's Beach was buried. Generations grew up never knowing the story. The Bruce's descendants inherited pain instead of property, and a community lost a piece of its history. But history has a way of demanding to be told. As the civil rights movement gained momentum,
1912, Willa and Charles Bruce bought the first of 2 Ocean View lots for $1,225. Experts say it could now be worth up to $75 million.
This was an injustice inflicted not just upon Willa and Charles Bruce, but generations of their descendants who almost certainly would have been millionaires.
County Supervisor Janice Hahn, an LA County native, saying she hadn't heard of the Bruces until Black Lives Matter activists protested at Bruce's Beach last summer. The Bruces, among the city's first black landowners, they created a beach resort for their community who were barred from local beaches due to segregation.
Bruce's Beach became a lively and flourishing resort.
Finally, in 2021, after endless pressure and nationwide calls for justice, Los Angeles County voted to return the land to the Bruce family's descendants.
This morning, LA County taking the first steps towards correcting a centuries-old injustice.
We will change the state law to allow the family to get their land back from LA County.
It proved something powerful. History may be buried, but it is never forgotten. The story of Bruce's Beach isn't just about the past. It's a reminder that injustice can last generations, but so can the fight for justice. Willa and Charles Bruce's dream was stolen, but their courage, their vision, and their legacy still inspire today. And as we look out at the waves crashing on Manhattan Beach, we're forced to ask how many other stories like this remain hidden, waiting to be told.